What is up? I have Big C's, Caesar. So obviously you were one of the stars of the Panthers Stanley Cup run this year. I loved tuning in and watching. Can you just tell
Thank
me a
you.
little bit about who you are and kind of like some of the stories that you'll never forget during that run?
No, for sure. And first of all, thank you for having me on here,
Mhm.
Anthony. It's really a pleasure to finally meet you. Man, what a crazy last 3 years in general. For me in general, it's been insane. For us to be back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that would have ever happened. Especially being like the low bottom in the NHL. The Panthers were always, you know, we need to move them to Quebec. Let's change that franchise. Let's move them. I never would have thought we would have been Stanley Cup champions. I've been a big fan since 1993, so it's been really emotional for me, especially these last 3 years. So just going at it with Biz, um, just being in the hospital, being diagnosed with chondrosarcoma, grade one, just being able to see the team win was unbelievable. It's words can't really describe how I felt this year, the last 2 years in general. Um, and even from getting that hug from Paul Maurice last year, I thought that was going to be like the all-time high, right? And then little did I know this year would happen. So yeah, I mean it's been a whirlwind. It's been crazy. And it's crazy how it all started this year too. I kind of want to go back to where this year I think Toronto ended up being Ottawa in the playoffs. So for those of you who don't know who Biz Nasty is, Paul Biznat, he does the broadcasting for TNT, and he's a big Toronto Maple Leafs fan, huge Toronto Maple Leafs fan. So when they beat Ottawa that round, he was so stoked, he was stoked, he was hyped, he was excited. I don't blame him, but then he went at it and he kind of just started poking the bear. He started making fun of the 27 Florida dirtbag fans, and that's when I was like, no, not in my house. Not in my house. So if you have something to say, come say it to me. I ended up just posting a video in response to him in that video. Things just took off. He liked the video, he retweeted it. I woke up the next day, my friends are texting me, they're like, Ceaz Biz liked your video. Oh my gosh, oh my god. And I'm sitting there getting messages, people retweeting it saying, Caesar, you're freaking awesome. This is great. I honestly thought it was gonna end there. But no, it just kept going and kept going, man.
I wanted to start off like with the Panthers runs, but could we start like with Biz and some of the people that you got to meet and like
It's insane. Um, because I got to meet one of the coolest dudes in the world, Canadian Oldie. If you guys don't know who Canadian Oldie is, you guys got to go check him out. He's on Cameo, he's on X, he's on Instagram. The guy is literally the funniest dude ever. And he's from Toronto, Canada. He's a big, huge hockey fan. During that Toronto run, it's kind of funny going back to it and kind of explaining it. Biz had his little master plan of getting Canadian Oldie to South Florida, trying to distract the players. And he did a damn good job of it, right? Because he distracted me too. So he brought Canadian Oldie Dale from Barstool. They came down from Toronto, and there's a video of Canadian Oldie literally on the glass twerking and trying to get the Panther players just to get out of their game, right? I was like, this guy, oh my goodness, there is no way this guy's doing it. But he did. He did. And credits to him. It worked. The plan would work. It's crazy because I get a text message, or I get a message from X from Biz before Canadian Oldie got here. He's like, "Cease, I got a surprise for you." I'm like, "Oh gosh, what's this guy gonna do?" Right? So I was not expecting that. Um, we get to the arena, me and my friends, and of course, I get a text from Dale from Barstool, and he's like, "Hey, we're in section 107." I'm like, "Okay, let's go over there." Literally, we get to like the seat area, the 88th seat area, to see warm-ups. And here we see Canadian oldie literally on the glass, just twerking. I was like, this guy, unbelievable, unbelievable. And literally 2 minutes later, when we got there, the police was already at the doorway waiting to escort his ass out. So that was the most funniest thing ever. And
So
it's
he
crazy. Go ahead.
go. Well, he didn't even get to watch the game. This was all pregame.
This was all pregame. So it's crazy because all of this is going on. My friends and I are kind of like, because normally we have a routine, my friends and I. We get to the arena, we hang out with the fans. Fans want to take pictures with me and stuff. We meet our friends from different sections, hang out, talk puck before the game. So we didn't even get to do any of that. So literally, my schedule was all messed up on that day. And I'm like very superstitious. If I don't do my routine, like I feel like the team loses for some reason. I don't know if you're superstitious, Anthony, but I am for sure. Um, I literally just like everything was just crazy that day. My friends and I, so when we get to our little section and we're sitting there and they told us to go to 107 and we see Canadian oldie down there and the police is getting ready to escort him and everything. He comes back up and they say, you can do what you're doing, but you can't be on the glass. You can't literally stand on the glass and, you know, safety hazards, right? So they ended up letting Canadian oldie stay and stuff. He was actually really cool. A lot of people thinks he's like on like cocaine and stuff. It's crazy because he's always wired like that, right? But he's not. He's actually that's the way he is. He wasn't drunk. He came back up once the warm ups were over, and he's like, "Ceaz, it's great to meet you." And I was like, "Bro, what are you doing here? You can't do that in our house." And literally 2 minutes later, he's like, "Ceaz, I got a surprise for you." He takes out the Brad Marchand jersey. He says, "Here, this is from the boys up in Spin Chicklets. They wanted to get you a Brad Marchand jersey." And I was like, man, I was just in awe. I was very grateful and just for Biz to do that, for him to bring Canadian oldie down. Great on his part because it definitely was a distraction. I don't think it was just only on me, but on everybody. It was crazy, and his distraction worked, but we all knew what happened at the end. So um, Florida ends up winning the series. But yeah, that just goes to show you what a class act Biz is. What a great person he is. Even though we had our little banter there on social media, it was all for fun, right? And I think the Twitter world, the Instagram world, they all loved it. They said that was one of the best rivalries we've had in a long time, and we thank you guys for bringing that entertainment.
It was awesome. It's like Biz is great. I've had a couple interactions with him on X, and he always seems to get burned in the comments, and it's just that he wins. He's awesome. Like what's the best? Like you said, the gift for Marchand and what those guys did, but like what's the best gift you've ever received, or anything a fan has given you, or anything like that?
Ooh, that's a good question. Put me on the spot here. I love it. Best gift I've ever gotten, and that's a honestly just interacting with the fans in general, just getting the private messages and I'm getting from different people all over the world, not just here from Florida, but I've gotten messages from people in Sweden, Finland, Ontario, Toronto, Edmonton. I mean, those people are like, these we hate Florida, but we love you. You're like a legend. You're just amazing in what you do and keep fighting and keep doing what you're doing. We enjoy it. I met a good St. Louis Blues fan who's in St. Louis and dealing with a lot of PTSD and stuff like that. And he's like, I'm still trying to recover from all the stuff that I dealt with. And just watching you and Biz just kept me so entertained this year. And just listening to your story, watching your podcast, it just makes me feel much better. And to be able to touch people like that in the world is truly, I think that's the best gift I could ever have gotten.
It's really inspirational. Like especially what you guys are doing. That's awesome. I, like I said, Biz and the spinning chiclet guys, like I've talked to
Oh,
Marls, like just the
he's
stories of
awesome,
even how they got to where they are. It's all like fate
right?
or chance and things like that. So, do you remember, like, obviously the Senders when they had that music video and then somebody chopped
Uh,
the star of it? They replaced his face with Biz. So,
that's freaking great, dude.
yeah.
I love those. Oh my God, that was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. I posted the picture because I had saw it that someone transformed it to Biz, and it got like he actually responded to it and liked it, and I was like, "Oh, that's that's awesome."
That's
Yeah.
the greatest thing, and he kind of talked about it on a couple of podcasts too, how he's like, when I first got on to Barstool, I just got out of the league and I had no filter. So, the social media world didn't really know like who I was. And then when they found out, like, because what when Biz posts something, he posts how he feels. He doesn't give a crap. So he says how he feels. He says what it brings his emotions, and he doesn't care what other people think. And I think that's what makes him him, right? And that's what makes him unique. And Barstool's noticed that, and they gave him an opportunity, and he's he's taken you know a lot of rash, harsh criticism, but he's also making the hockey world even better place too. He's bringing a lot to the table. He's bringing entertainment, and he not only entertainment, but he also knows a lot about hockey, even though he wasn't a good player. Uh, he knows a lot about puck.
I saw you with the Empty Netters boys on one of
Oh,
those.
Dad, Dan and Chris,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing guys.
And then they were in the LA Kings schedule release, and
Dude,
that was sick.
I thought that was one of the best schedule releases.
Yeah.
I thought that one, the Calgary Flames one with Lombard, I thought that was pretty cool. I was kind of disappointed with Florida's. It was kind of funny in a way because they were trolling everybody, all the haters and stuff. But I thought they could have been a little bit more creative. But then I kind of sat back and realized, you know what, maybe just too much championship celebration. They didn't really have any time and stuff. So I guess just for them to put it like together like AI kind of, it's all right, I guess. But no, I definitely love the LA's season schedule reveal. And Chris and Dan are such awesome dudes. The one thing about them is they really care about their fans. That's the one thing about their podcast. Like they let the fans interact and they let the fans run the show. And when I got to meet them at Elbow Room, like every fan would just come up to them and they would literally take 5 minutes of their time to talk to that fan. And they're not starstruck. They don't have these I'm better than you kind of thing. So being able to meet Chris and Dan was an all-time high too. It was really awesome. Got to talk puck with them, and yeah, they're really good people.
So, what was your best moment throughout this entire journey of, like, even going back to the Jonathan Huberdeau trade, like
Oh
with
yes,
to Chuck? So, what was your first reaction to that trade, and what has been the best moment throughout the 3 years of this run?
good question. Man, it's crazy because Jonathan Huberdeau and I had kind of like a little personal relationship outside the ice. He was a really good guy. Got to meet his family. I remember one day I went to the Hard Rock Hotel here in Florida. They used to have a Hooters in there, and we used to always go and just eat at the Hooters down there. And they had like a little concert area where they do free music for the people. So we eat at Hooters, watch some live music, hang out with everybody. It's not the same anymore, although the guitar is pretty cool to hang out. But I kind of miss that old Hard Rock venue. But yeah, Jonathan Huberto one day ended up going to that Hooters, and his family was there, and he literally came up to my table and he goes, "Hey, Caesar, how are you?" I was like, "Oh man, holy crap, it's Jonathan Huberto." He's like, "I'm doing great, man. How are you?" He's like, "I want you to meet my family." Literally took me to his table to meet his family, and just a class act guy, so awesome. I had like really grown to love him a lot, like him as a player. And especially having, I think he had the most points on the team that year, 115, if I'm not mistaken. Um, President's Year trophy. Uh, for Bill Zito to trade him, I'm not gonna lie, I was really upset. I was upset. I was hurt. But then again, I had to take some time. I was like, guys, let's kind of sit back and relax. In our group chat, in our friends group chat, we were just all going crazy, right? Because a lot of us did like Huberto. He was a South Florida favorite. And once we got to let it all sink in, and then listening to Matthew Kachuk in the press conference the next day, I was like, man, this guy's different. I don't know what it is, but this guy's different. I didn't really get to watch him much because he played in Calgary, and we don't really get that many Calgary games down here. So I didn't really know what kind of player he was. But from everybody that was talking Puck and that new Puck, they were telling me, Caesar, you're gonna love Matthew Kachuk. He's got that grit. He's got that nastiness. He's gonna he's a great guy off the ice. You're gonna really, really like him. I was like, okay. And then when he came on the next day and talked about being traded to Florida, he said one of his favorite quotes was like, I hate Edmonton, but I hate Tampa Bay even more. And I was like, okay, we got somebody. There we go. Because we wanted to be the Tampa. Tampa has been to three straight Stanley Cup finals. They won two of them. And we were trying to be at their level, trying to be able to play them. We haven't even played them in a series either yet. Um, I mean, before that season. So for us to get Matthew Kachuk saying that we want to be the standard of Tampa Bay or better, I was like, okay, this guy's the guy.
What was your first experience meeting Matthew Tkachuk?
Oh man, that's awesome. I love that question. So it's crazy because when we won the Stanley Cup this year, we went to I didn't get no sleep. We literally went to Fat Cats here in Fort Lauderdale, watch one of my good friends' band. And from Fat Cats, I came home, just got some coffee. My friend texted me. She's like, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. I just got home. Elbow room. I'm like, let's go. So I literally just got my coffee. I'm like, okay, I guess no sleep, team, no sleep. Okay, let's do it. We get to elbow room because last year nobody knew they were going to go to elbow room. So I knew this year there's going to be tons of people, and there was a lot of people at elbow room this year. So when we get there, literally there's people all over, like around. They have it blocked off only for the players. Matthew and everybody, and empty netters are up there making their podcasts and stuff. So yeah, for them to like, and then during those 3 hours that we stayed, I think one of the most memorable moments of this whole run too was Matthew Kachuk spotted me and he sees me down there and with the crowd and he's like, big Ceaz. And they all start pointing at me and they start chanting. And then here comes Matthew Kachuk. He starts bringing the champagne and he starts spraying me down below. I was like, man, this is awesome. This is great. And then he brings his dad close to the edge. And he's like, "Hey, look, it's Big C's." And then here comes Big Wall. He's like, "Yeah, let's go, C's." And he's like, "F biz, F biz." I was like, "Let's go." So I thought that was going to be the highlight. I was like, "Man, this is my one time Matthew Kachuk is actually going to notice me. That's awesome." I was on an all time high. And then a couple days later is when the real party started. So I see on X that the Florida Panther team or the players are going to go to 11 again. I'm like, oh man, it's going to be epic. I guarantee it's going to be epic. So I'm sitting there texting my friends, 11 question mark. And everybody's like, no, man, I'm too hungover. I can't do it. I'm like, man, I don't want to miss this opportunity. So they didn't want to go. So I ended up texting another coworker of mine, ex coworker of mine. And luckily he was off on Friday. So this event was taking place on a Thursday. And I was like, hey, you doing anything tonight? I know we haven't hung out in a while. 11? He's like, what's at 11? I was like, well, Panther players are going to be there celebrating. Who knows what's going to go down? We can go watch him celebrate. He's like, okay, let me see if I can find a babysitter. So he ends up finding a babysitter. he ends up come picking me up that night. We get there, and it's crazy because there was a long line. I was like, damn, it's gonna be a while till I get in if there's a line, right? So I get to the front, and they literally the line just starts chanting my name, Caesar, Caesar. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, what's is this really happening? And then I go up to security. I'm like, hey, how? What's the best way for me to get in? Security just says go up the ramp. They'll get you in. Don't worry about it. I was like, sweet. All right. So we get up the ramp and stuff. Security was really awesome. They handled the situation really great. Couldn't have asked for anything more. Um, so we get inside and it's packed as heck. There is like no room to move. And as you can imagine with my chair, it's like, damn, if I like move this way, I'm gonna run somebody's foot. Somebody's gonna get a foot taken out. So um we just sat there and we waited for a little bit just so the crowd could kind of just get in there, get situated. And one of the athletic trainers, his friend Zach, noticed me and he goes, Caesar, the whole team loves you, man. Great job. You're amazing. The the team's just like can't stop talking about you in the locker room. I'm like, man, that's so insane. That's crazy that they even know about this. And he's like, let me get security. I can get you a little bit closer. I was like, oh, dude, that would be great. So security comes and they get me closer. They get me right next to the VIP area. So there's a like wheelchair area, kind of open. It's in the top area. I was like, man, this is awesome. This is a perfect view, just hanging out. And then here comes a couple minutes later, once we got situated in that area, we see Teddy, the one of the athletic trainers or the equipment manager. And he spots me and he notices me. He points at me and he goes, Big C's. He goes straight to Chucky. He tells Chucky that I'm there. Chucky just drops everything, comes right to me. He's like, let's get you down there, Ceaz. I was like, no way. Are you serious? He's like, let's go. I was like, dude, is this freaking happening? And security literally, I didn't even know I was next to the elevator. They open the door. They like, Ceaz, get in here. We go down the elevator. Super. I was like, I felt like a rock star there. Having Matthew Kachuk come up here and say, come with us and celebrate was unbelievable. And as we're getting down there, the crowd's like chanting my name, Caesar, Caesar, Chucky. It was so unreal. It literally felt like I was part of the team. And then here comes the stage. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to get up there. Lo and behold, the thing just starts like leveling down. It starts going down. I was like, no way, that thing can go down and literally goes all the way down to the ground. And they're like, get your ass up here. I was like, let's go, let's go. And the rest is history, man. And then if everybody's seen the video, like literally, I literally got waterboarded.
It was awesome. Honestly, like I believe that you should get a day with the cup and a ring. So if there's not a petition
Yeah.
already started, what would you
Right,
do? What would you do with the Stanley Cup?
man. That's like I haven't really even thought about it to be honest with you. Honestly, dude, there's so much things I would hang out with my best friends.
Mhm.
Cameron, Shauna, Kelly. I think I would just hang out with them and go to Flanagan's and maybe eat some wings. I know it's already been to Flanagan's, but why not get it down there again 2 times, right? Um, and honestly, I'd probably bring it to Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital too, just to spend the time with kids there because Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital is one of the biggest reasons why I'm here today too. They saved my life 2 years ago after being on cardiac arrest. So, being able to share the moment with the kids there too, I think that would be really special. And yeah, probably hang out with the fans, take pictures with the fans as well. That would be an epic moment.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I see that you have like a signature area or something.
Hey, which
Uh,
one?
to behind your left shoulder, there's like a bunch of signatures. Or
Oh,
other
okay. On the, the
yeah.
the poster board.
Is that of players, fans? Like what is
Those
that?
are actually of like the fans and my best friends.
Mhm.
That was a poster board where 2 years ago where I got on cardiac arrest, they made a poster board of Get Well Seas, and it was my birthday that weekend or that month. So they made a poster board and just had a lot of people sign it and things like that. So that's something I always hold true to my heart. So I
That's
keep it
awesome.
there every time. So every time I see it, it's like, I know people care about me, and that's really cool to see.
And going like to your other fandom, I know you're a football fan and Cowboys fan, and we were talking about
Yes.
it because the season is starting.
Oh
So
man, I'm excited.
are you a big fantasy football player as well? And
Yes,
yeah,
thanks. Yes, I love fantasy football. So I'm actually a two-time champion last year. I won
nice.
in two of my three leagues. So, yeah, I love fantasy football. It's one of my favorite times of year. I'm excited for what the Cowboys have in this year, especially getting George Pickens,
Hmm.
having Dak Prescott hopefully healthy this year, and the offensive line seems to be doing a lot better. So, as long as we can keep Mike Parsons, I know you were talking about how he's one of your favorite players in the league. I think he's one of the best players as well in
Hmm.
the league. Just for him to come in as a rookie and just be able to do what he did, him and TJ Watt and Miles Garrett, those are just unique players, like once in a generation Hall of Fame players,
Yeah.
right? And it's crazy because it's contract talks. It seems like every year in training camp, Cowboys always have like a contract issue with some player every single year, and it just seems to be Micah Parsons this year. But yeah, I'm excited for the season. I know you're a Bears fan, so
Yeah.
I know you're excited to see what um Caleb Williams has to do this year.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm very excited for the Bears. I think we're going to make the playoffs, or they are going to make the playoffs this year. Have you met like Jerry Jones or any of the Cowboys players as well? And is that something that you like want to do?
I haven't met Jerry Jones, but I did get a letter from him. A friend of mine actually wrote a letter to the Cowboys for me on
Mhm.
behalf of me one day, and I didn't even know it. One day I checked the mailbox and I got a little letter with a little package. It had a Cowboy shirt in it, and it had a letter
Nice.
from Jerry Jones saying, "Thank you for being one of the greatest fans out there. We really appreciate your love." And then it had this signature by Jerry Jones. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I haven't met him personally. Um, one of my one of my favorite players was Jason Witten. He was one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game. I kind of wish he did get a Super Bowl. Um, so I met Mason Taylor, who's actually going to be the rookie this year for the New York Jets. Mason Taylor is, for those of you that don't know, is Jason Taylor's son. And I used to actually go to church here by my house, and I would wear the Jason Witten jersey every Sunday. So the Taylor family used to always make fun of me, always give me some crap about it, but it was all in good fun. And then one day, Katina Taylor said, "We got a surprise for you," and I have a picture of with Mason Taylor and Isaiah Taylor handing me that picture
Oh,
of
that's awesome.
Jason Witten, and he actually says, "Thanks, Caesar, for being my biggest fan." Signed Jason Witten now, so that was one of those moments. I haven't met Jason Witten yet. I know he's coaching high school football, so maybe get him on the pod one day, or even when he's down in Florida. So that's one of my goals that I want to do here. But yeah, as far as meeting the players, haven't really met any Cowboy player that I can remember. But from afar, Aikman was one of the reasons why I became a Cowboy fan. Back in 1997, I wrote a letter to three players, and he was one of the players that responded. So that's one of the reasons why I stuck to being a fan. And I was like, okay, because of him, I'm going to stick to being the Cowboys team fan.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how you became a Cowboys and Panthers fan. What other sports fandom are you in?
I love, well, I still like the Miami Heat, but I'm not much of a basketball person just because of the way the game has gone. Although this year was a little bit better in the finals. Um, I don't know. I just feel like it's not the same like it was in the 90s and 80s, you know. And growing up watching basketball in that era, it was so different. And just watching the players score points in the paint and not just shoot threes. The game's gone away from that, and I kind of miss that. But I do like the Heat. I love the Braves. Braves were something me and my dad used to used to watch together all the time. Being on TBS because they were always on TBS when I was younger. Um, he would get home from work, and we'd go to his room and we'd sit there and watch baseball all night. So that was one of
That's
the
awesome.
things that me and my dad shared when he was alive. So that was true to dear to my heart. And the year that he passed away actually was the year that I went to Truist Park. So I got to experience that moment and watch a Braves game in honor of him. I was like, I'm gonna go. Let's go to Atlanta and just watch the game for to honor my dad and all that. So that was one of my all time favorite moments.
Who's your favorite Braves player of all time?
Man, there's so many. It's crazy. Chipper Jones is up there. I think Chipper, um, Sean Smoltz, Brian McCann. Um, but I think if I would say like player and person, it'd probably be Freddie Freeman. To
Hmm.
see him leave,
Yeah.
go to LA, that really hurt. It really hurt. Just because I was such a big Freddie Freeman fan. I ended up buying his jersey that year too when they won the World Series. And I knew as soon as about it, I'm like, he's probably gonna leave after.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, he did. But good for him. I mean, I was so happy for him to win the MVP in the World Series last year. I mean, the guy deserves it. The guy had so much going against him that season, especially with what his son was going through, and just being able to see him kind of just deal with all that and just rally around all that and just win the World Series and win the MVP was really special to see.
Well, I want to close it out like a Hot Ones video. So there's a camera here, here, and here. It's the middle one.
Nice. All right.
So tell everybody what you got going on and what you got next.
I love that show, by the way.
I love it too.
uh, so no, man, everything's going good. I got my podcast, so make sure everybody go check it out. It's the Big C's Show on YouTube, and it's available on all platforms as well. I got some really good guests coming up. Nick Tarnowski's another guest that I'm coming up here. We got Biz in the works too, so stay tuned. We don't know when it'll drop, but Biz is going to be on. I'm pretty excited for that one.
That's awesome.
I got RA. So RA's been MIA from Spittin' Chicklets. It was great shooting the shit with him and just getting to know his situation and really, really good guy. Got to meet him last year. It's a really good episode. So if you guys go check it out, it's on my YouTube channel. But yeah, other than that, just continuing to be a super fan here. My social media has been blowing up, so I'm gonna keep doing these these videos and stuff, and it's gonna be more now with football season. So
Mhm.
hopefully the Cowboys do something this year for sure.
Hopefully the Bears and Cowboys see each other in the NFC Championship.
Ooh, that would be great. That would be
Yeah.
great.
But thank you so much for joining me. I could talk to you for a very long time, but I have like a video going now at 3. So thank you
No
so
worries,
much.
man. It was such a pleasure, Anthony. And anytime you want to have me in, and I'm always here.
Yeah, you are welcome anytime, and everything that Big C's does will be in the description. And definitely check out that Biz episode because that's gonna be sick. I'm definitely tuned in.
Definitely. Thank you for your support, man.